Hey guys, how's it going today? As usual, I hope this video finds everyone in good health and good spirits. We're going to explore the Anaconda State Park a little bit today. So hope you guys enjoy. There's going to be a lot of detail on it, so it's a fun place. If you guys ever get time, come check it out. So, all right guys, let's do this. Anaconda State Park. Some state park regulations, day use only, no overnight camping. This park is closed from sunset to sunrise, so we have a little bit of time before we have to get out of here. Miner holding the carbide light. Lunchbox. It says dedication. Marcus Daly was instrumental in building the Anaconda smelter and reduction works in 1883, along with Hurst, Hagen, and Tevis. Financial backing was gained, as well as engineers who provided the design. The heart and lifeblood of the smelter's success was due to three categories of workers: miners, smelters, workers, and railroad workers. These three metal figures best represent the labor that built the copper industry. This historic smelter viewing stand is a tribute to all of those that were instrumental in Marcus Daly's vision. And the big old buckets down this way. These things here are big enough to stand in, width-wise, so just huge. The stack itself sits right over there. This video is not doing that justice, the size, the sheer size. That thing is huge. It's right around 585 feet tall. So we'll get up here and see what the inside diameter looked like, and then get into some of the history of it. I don't think it's going to be a very long video today. It is pretty chilly out here as the sun went down over the mountains. Now it's starting to cool off. There's a switch and jack for the railroad. They actually, years back, I don't remember what year it was done in, but years back they actually allowed people to buy bricks, and you could put the names of those that worked at the smelter, your family, things like that, on those bricks. They're all covered up right now underneath the snow. My grandparents actually have a couple bricks in that. So this here is the inside diameter. The stack sits way up there. We're sitting in the rail yard. And then this whole circle, it's hard to see in this video, but this whole circle that goes around was actually the outside diameter. So, all right, so let's get into some of the history on this place. So during the early years of smelting in Anaconda, I believe that each of the mini furnaces at the old works required its own stack. And the old works actually sat over on the north side of Anaconda. We'll do some videos on that later on, but the early stacks actually sat over on the north side. This one was built over here on the south side. They started building the ones over here on the south side in 1902, I believe. So anyways, each of the furnaces required their own stack. Later on, the individual stacks were kind of connected with flues to a large central stack, so that would kind of tie them all together for us. So when this stack right here was constructed in 1902, the very first Washoe stack, so it wasn't this one, but it was one that's over here. It was done in 1902. It stood somewhere around like 285 feet, 290 feet, something like that. As production capacity grew, they actually decided to design and build one huge stack to handle the basically the large volumes of the flue gases and stuff like that they had. And that's, now we're talking about this big stack that you see back off that way. See if I can zoom in a little tiny bit on that. Don't know how well it's going to work. I'm sorry for the shakiness. It's chilly out here. But anyways, so they decided to design and build this stack that you see right over here, to kind of tie them all together to handle all that flue gas that they had. The base of that stack that sits over there was somewhere around 30 feet diameter. It was actually completed in 1918, that stack was, but the base itself was 30 feet in diameter, so pretty huge as you can think of. I believe it used somewhere around 21,000 bags of cement, as well as somewhere around 50 rail cars of sand and about 120 rail cars of crushed rock. Could be off in those numbers a little bit, but I believe it was somewhere in there, not too positive. This was a huge project, and it was actually, I mean, just huge. It was completed in a pretty short amount of time for the size that it is, you know. You'd think that would actually take quite some time, but it only actually took somewhere around 140 working days, with each day being 8 hours, 8-hour shifts. So you can imagine 140 days of 8-hour shifts. That's pretty quick for this big old stack. It stands 585 feet tall to get done. So there were somewhere around like 10 bricklayers per shift, as well as trying to remember what that was now. So somewhere around 10 bricklayers. But anyways, the first block was actually put in place here on May 23rd, 1918. Could be a day or two off on that as well, but I'm pretty sure it was May 23rd, 1918. And the last block was actually put in place about 6 months later, on November 30th of 1918. So from the base of the stack, it stands 585 feet tall. The base sits at an elevation of 5,754 feet. And at the top of the stack, I think it's somewhere around 6,400 feet. So quite the difference from the bottom to the top, at 585 feet tall. And the stack was actually made up of 2,464,652 locally made tile blocks, which is the same equivalency of 6,672,214 plain bricks. The mortar for this stack used 41,350 sacks of cement, over 70 rail cars of sand. Each car carried around 50 tons of sand, so that's a lot of cars, a lot of sand that's going in there. And over 35 rail cars of fire clay. It also used over 300,000 feet of timber. The stack first actually put smoke out on May 5th of 1919. So that's a really fast project that was done right there. Can you imagine building that whole thing with all that equipment, doing it in 8-hour shifts and only 148 days? So, and then for to have it first smoke in May of 1919, that's pretty good. That stack was actually completely covered with terracotta coating. The whole brick chimney was. But then when it closed down in 1981, it had pretty much all eroded away except for around 40% of the top, exposing most of its bricks and the reinforcing rods. So you can imagine what kind of trouble that was causing. The inside diameter at the bottom of the stack is 76 feet, and the top is 60 feet diameter. So it's just absolutely huge. I believe the architect that had came up with this idea, or that helped build the stack, was Alphonse Custodes Chimney Construction Company. Don't really remember where they were based from, but I'm pretty sure that was the company that built it. And this stack actually stands bigger than the Washington Monument, because the Washington Monument only stands 554 feet. So it's pretty cool. The very first stack that was built by the Anaconda Company was actually put in place up in Great Falls, and that was only 506 feet tall. And that was referred to at the time as the Big Stack as well. So, and that one was built 10 years before this one was, so somewhere around 1908. Just pretty cool though. That kind of shows you different sizes, what the Anaconda Company was doing. Inside, you can't see it right now because of all the snow, but this whole inside is covered in slag. It kind of shows you what the leftover was. after they were smelting, and this was all, they were smelting copper here at this stack. They actually had old trams, I guess, old rail cars that would actually come down the streets of Anaconda, pick the miners up, or pick the smeltermen up at different locations, and then take them up there to the stack to work. And then at the end of the shift, you'd just jump back on it and down you'd come. I'm told that a lot of them, when they'd reach town again, they'd actually just head straight to the local bar, tavern, pub. So they'd want to kind of work off that day's work before they actually even went home. So anyways, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and cut it here. It is absolutely freezing out here. Don't know what the temperature is today, but it is super cold. So again, guys, I appreciate you guys coming along with me today. Hope you guys maybe learned something. Sorry if it wasn't the clearest today. I was trying to do my best to get the information out to you guys. It's just freezing out here. I enjoy the cold, but right now it's a little bit too cold. So you guys stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, and have a great rest of your night. Thank you.